Hey everyone, this is Lisa from Life in Layouts, and today I am here with the July wrap-up for the dark side of scrapbooking. I will link the playlist down below if you would like to follow along with the original video as well as June wrap-up. Just as a quick reminder, there are 4 phases of the dark side, and let's jump right into phase 1 of Hunt and Gather. This month I decided that I was going to work through July of 2019. I felt very rewarded that June of 2019 is completed, and even though I only had 1 layout, I thought that I would continue to move forward. If you guys remember back from my previous dark side videos, 2019 was a very rough year for me. It was a relationship that had ended, and I wasn't in the mindset to scrapbook as much as I am now. So going back now and looking through these photos has really been something that I am actually enjoying, because I am finding lots of things that I just don't really remember. With that being said, July 2019 was a totally different story. So let's jump into the Hunt and Gather part of it with Facebook. Facebook is where I like to start because this is where I post a majority of my photos in the moment. So going back and looking at my post, I can see all the things that was going on in my life at that time. In my June wrap-up, I showed you guys the activity log. You can click on the activity log and then you can filter by everything that you've seen. Nicole has also shown me that there's a different way to do it, so I wanted to show you guys that as well. On your Facebook page, if you go to the filters button, which is over to the right above the last post that you had, by selecting the filters button, you can then filter your post by year, who posted it, the privacy, as well as if there were tagged posts. So I'm going to select 2019 for the year, July for the month, and I'm going to leave the day blank. Then I'm going to select done. Your posts are going to appear here, and you can see that this first post, whatever it was amazing, but it is no longer available. And then going back through my post here, I have lots of different posts with photos, as well as posts of things that I was looking at during that time. One of them being The Handmaid's Tale, and that was a show that I was really into in 2019. As well as lots of other posts and photos that I need to sort through and figure out. So in looking through my Facebook page, I came to the realization that there were lots of photos and posts that I had that I needed to confirm were in my albums. So I then went to my albums and started looking through the 2019 layouts that I had already completed. I have several photos of us at the beach at the end of July. You can see here at this layout was Beach Boy, which was one of the foster kids playing on the beach. Then I have the Making Waves and the Oh Yeah layout. Alright guys, so I thought I would get on here and walk through the July 2019 layouts that I have completed. All of these do have process videos, so I'm not going to go into detail about the layout, but I did want to do a layout share for July 2019. I'm going to try to avoid the glare as much as possible. This layout, I remember doing this one. This layout is a Scrapbook Generation layout, and it was when I first got into stitching and I didn't really understand stitching as much as I do now. First of all, look how thick this thread is. I was using what's called like craft thread, and so you weren't able to separate it, and so it's super thick. And then also was using a stitching template that had the holes really far apart. Big difference in what I do now. And I stitched the entire layout. So most of it gets covered up, and I didn't have the understanding that these strips should have gone out quite a bit. Like I probably should have cut it because the center of it is completely covered. But I do really enjoy this layout. I might have to redo this sketch because it is a really cute sketch. The next layout is from the same day. It's called Making Waves, and this is one of those where I did add the pocket page in the center. I love adding pocket pages like this that are smaller than the 12 by 12. This one just has 3 4x4s in it, and so I was able to get 2 additional photos as well as adding my title to this centerpiece, and then on the back again adding 2 more additional photos and my journaling. So I was able to get so many photos on this layout with this pocket page. And as you can see, I have several 4x6 photos. So full-size photos plus 3x4 photos, and that's probably like a 2x2 photo. So I was able to get so many photos on a layout. And then again, over here, getting 2 additional 4x6 photos. This is another layout that I look back on and think, what was I thinking? Because simply looking at it now, I would have put this 3x4 photo all the way to the edge and then moved these 3x4s and this 2x2 over because they are all looking off the page. And then this photo would have given it a hard stop. Definitely not changing it, but it's always nice to look back on layouts and see what things you missed the first time around. And I know that no one else would probably notice that, which is why I'm not going to change it. This layout was from the same day as well. This is actually on the way home from the beach. The boys are in the car and we stopped at Wawa to get smoothies, milkshakes, and looking back now, this is one of those things that I definitely did not have a lot of photos or events that I wanted to scrapbook. So I was scrapbooking multiple layouts from the same day, where I might now combine some of these. But I love Eli's expression in these 2 photos. He just looks so annoyed at his brother. This is a different day. This is probably the following weekend because it's about 7 days later. We went to Gatorland. These photos are of Eli and his mom, and there's this area at Gatorland that has birds in it. Eli's facial expression is always hilarious. Look at that. Even at a young age, he's such a ham. And this one too. Look how big his eyeballs are. This is from the same day at Gatorland when they actually saw this humongous tortoise. Like, look how big that tortoise is. I remember this collection. It was one of my favorite collections. It was from Echo Park and it had such cute little creatures on it, like this turtle and the butterfly. And there was another one that was an owl, I think, but super cute. This is also from the same day, and it is a more recent layout that I completed. I will link all of the process videos below to these layouts if you want to go check them out. But these photos were taken at the Gatorland water park. And then the last layout that I have for July 2019 was the boys making muffins. And again, I got so many photos on this layout. There are 14 photos on this layout. I'm pretty sure that they were all 4x6 photos that I cut down to size, and I think I even cut them down just cutting out all of the dead space that were in the photos. But I know that I also have a process video for this, so I will link it below. As I was looking through my album, I thought to myself, we tend to take a lot more photos at Gatorland. It's always a big event. There's absolutely no gator pictures here whatsoever, so I know that there's other photos. So let's go looking for those photos now. So after I went through my albums, I started to go through my photos to see what other photos I needed. There were a couple of photos that I knew that I wanted to do from Facebook, and there were photos that I needed to see what other photos were in my Google Drive as well as Google Photos. When I pulled up my Google Drive, I did not have our Gatorland photos at all, which was very interesting. I had scrapbooked these. They were not on Facebook, and they were not in my Google Drive or my Google Photos. So where else would they be? I continued looking for them, and I ended up on my mom's Facebook page where I had found the photos. So at that time, I must have pulled the photos from her Facebook page to Scrapbook. Then I reached out to my mom and got her login information for Amazon photos because that's where she keeps her photos. Looking through her photos of July of 2019, I was able to find the Gatorland photos. At that time, I decided to download the photos from her Amazon photos and then upload them to my Google Drive. Well, this step necessarily wasn't true because my mom is storing the photos, so do I really need to store them? But as a peace of mind of knowing that I have the photos, that's why I decided to go ahead and add them to my Google Drive. So now I need to go through all of these photos and decide which ones I have already scrapbooked and which ones still need to be scrapbooked. I think that there's really probably only going to be one additional layout that I do because I have done the Feathered Friends as well as Gator Gully, which is the water park. My mom does have this photo that she got taken of my sister and both my nephews holding a gator and a snake. I need to go over to her house and find this actual photo. I think she actually has this like on a shelf, and bring it over and scan it so that I have the actual photo. And I think that that photo would pair well with these photos of where my sister and my nephews were getting ready to hold the gator and the snake. I also had a few photos on my Facebook page that didn't really fit into an entire layout. This is the only photo that I have of my nephew when I picked him up from the airport when he was visiting us for that particular year. And so I decided to do a month in review. It is going to be a one-page layout since I only have a couple of photos to go on it, and I thought it would be a good layout to start my album, because if you remember, my albums go from January to June and then July to December. So that is another layout that I decided to plan. So that is my phase 1 of Hunt and Gather. I was able to look through my Facebook page as well as my Google Photos and my Google Drive, and I did find some holes. This challenge has really opened my eyes to the way that I have organized things, and I am so glad that I am doing this. While it is a lot of work to get these photos organized and to complete the dark side of scrapbooking, I am enjoying the end result. Let's move into phase 2, which is print, prep, and plan. For my July print, prep, and plan, not only was I working on phase 2 for July of 2019, I also received some sketches for the 30 days of sketches that is going to be in October. So I had to start working on those as well. I had to get the sketches paired up with photos so that I could start planning my layouts and completing them so that I can work on the videos and not be completely stressed in the month of October. Luckily, at the beginning of July, Walgreens was having a sale for the 4th of July. Holidays are the best time to print out photos at your local store because usually they tend to have really good sales. This particular sale was 15 cents, which is a significant savings. So I uploaded my photos to Walgreens and went to print them out. I did want to show you guys a tip because I was in the Scrapbook Addicts group and somebody had asked a question about printing screenshots. This particular photo is actually a story-based photo that I plan to use very soon on a layout for my channel. It's actually for a place that is no longer exist at Typhoon Lagoon called Shark Reef. This photo, as well as several others, were pulled from the internet because I don't really have photos from this day. This isn't a true 4x6 or even the true digital, which is 4 by 5.3. But I wanted to show you how you can print the entire photo. I have already uploaded this photo to Walgreens and I am currently in my cart. So I have added this photo to my cart. Once I'm in the cart, I'm going to select the edit button. Over to the right, you have the option to select 4x6 full photo. When you do this, your photo is going to print in its entirety and you will have a white border on the edges depending on how large the photo is. I use this option often when I am printing screenshots or photos that I've taken from the internet. Now you will not have a true 4x6 photo because this white space on the top and bottom as well as the left and right is going to make up your 4x6. But if you want to print your entire photo, this is an option that you can use. In a previous video, I have talked about those photos that I was waiting to get printed. I stored them on my iPad because that's usually where I edited the photos and got them ready to be printed. However, since starting the Dark Side Challenge, I have started pulling photos from lots of different places. So I've actually created a folder on my drive called To Develop. Normally I don't put photos in a folder like you see here, but there are several layouts that I have coming up that I need to cover up particular photos. Some photos are of people who have asked me not to show their faces on my YouTube channel, so I will take a little Post-it and punch out a circle or a heart and cover up their faces. There is another layout that I'm going to be doing with the Doodlebug Happy Healing collection, and that is of my surgery. There are photos in there that are of my incisions, and my thought process was that I will absolutely include them on my layout, but when I'm doing my video, I will probably just have one of my white 3x4 photo replacement cards that I've gotten from Close to My Heart on my layout so that I'm not showing photos that may get my video taken down. And because of that, I decided to store them in photos this month because I knew that I was going to be showing you guys this and I didn't want to have to search through photos and edit the content and things like that. But I did leave a couple of my photos out so that I could show you some things. This first photo that I'm showing you is a photo that I use the Project Life app to print out. I think I had mentioned in a previous photo that sometimes when I'm working through my photos, I will use the Project Life app to make them smaller into 3x4, but then sometimes I don't have enough to complete a page on the Project Life app. So I will save that page and it will show up in my pages section in the in progress section of it. Later on, I can go back and add some photos to it if I need to, which is what I did in this case here. I had photos of me rock climbing on the ship when we went on our cruise. And later when I was working through the Corn Fusion photos, I had this photo of Eli. He's on this little tractor thing, which in this particular photo doesn't show you a whole lot. But when you see this photo with all the others, it'll make sense. Once I get all of the photos that I need prepped, then I will send it over to Walgreens or Walmart to print them. I use both of these places pretty regularly. I have been really enjoying Walgreens for their glossy photos. I used to be a totally matte girl, but for some photos, you just need that glossy accent to it. So I have been using Walgreens. They are quite a bit more expensive than Walmart, and Walmart has only matte photos. Walgreens does have a cheaper price if you print more than 75 photos, and they do offer coupons from time to time. So if I have a large set of photos that need to be printed and there's a coupon, I will use Walgreens. If I need to get a layout up quickly or I have an idea and I want to get the layouts done quickly, I will print those photos at Walmart because they are cheaper. And if I'm only printing 4 or 5 photos, it just makes sense to print those from Walmart. Now for phase 3, the create phase. This is where we have no issues whatsoever. This month I had so much fun scrapbooking, and I spent a lot of that time scrapbooking with Nicole. I am so happy for her friendship and being able to bounce ideas off of each other and scrapbook over Facebook Messenger. I was able to get several layouts created in the month of July, including my 7 days of Christmas in July, and that was definitely a challenge. Those videos went up starting July 25th and went all the way through July 31st. I also created my first month in review layout, which was a 1-pager, and that will be up soon on my channel. I did a ton of stitching this month, which is right now my passion. I also dived deep into Dickers. Thanks again, Nicole, for that obsession, as well as tiny, tiny hearts. And honestly, this is the fun part of scrapbooking. This is the phase that I enjoy the most. And I love being able to share this phase with you guys on my channel. So stay tuned for more process videos coming soon. Alright guys, as part of my phase 4 of the finishing touches of the dark side of scrapbooking, there is a phase that I have to take care of that you guys probably don't, but I wanted to show you this step in case you do decide that you want to upload your completed layouts into an online gallery. There's multiple places for you to upload your layouts. I do prefer to upload mine to scrapbook.com, so I'm going to walk through that process now. You do have to create an account at scrapbook.com. Once you have created your account, you're going to want to go to My Projects. As you can see, I have uploaded lots of my layouts to my project section on scrapbook.com. I want to give a huge shout out to Junebug25 on scrapbook.com. The day that I was recording this video, I had noticed that I had a ton of notifications on scrapbook.com. I don't tend to get a lot of responses, and I don't really post them on scrapbook.com to get a lot of recognition. But Junebug25 made my day. So if you are a subscriber to my channel, if you will comment below, I would love to thank you personally for going through lots of my layouts and just hearting them or giving them a cheer. It really made my day, and I want to say thank you so much for doing that. So let's walk through uploading your layouts to the My Project section of scrapbook.com. Over on the left, you'll notice a plus sign that says Add a Project. Select that. This page here will appear, which will allow you to drag and drop the image, or you can upload the image by selecting Upload Image. Locate the images on your computer and select the image that you would like to upload. I have several here that I need to upload. I'm just going to do one with you today. So I'm going to select the Wishes fireworks layout that I completed back in June of 2019. So this is a step that I'm going to start including in my dark side. When I'm looking through my photos and finding the photos that I still need to complete layouts on, I'm also going to go through my photos and figure out which layouts still need to be uploaded to scrapbook.com. Once you've selected the image, you can then select Open, and back on the scrapbook.com website, select Continue. The image will process, and once that's complete, you'll select Next Steps. You will need to provide a project title. You also have the option to select a project description, but it is not required. In my project description, I usually just say that the full process video is on the tube. I want to not necessarily say YouTube because scrapbook.com has some limitations in regards to using that particular word. So this just gives an indication that if you want to find out more details, you can search for it over on YouTube. You also have the ability to add categories. This again is not required. I usually try to add any type of category that I can think of that would work for this particular layout that I'm uploading. So for this one, I did scrapbooking, Disney, simple story, since that's the collection, say cheese, since that's also the collection, fireworks, and Mickey Mouse. Once you've added all of your categories, or you can skip this step if you would like, select Next Step at the bottom right. Then you have the ability to add your supplies to your project. If you choose to do this, your layout will appear on that product's page. Took me a little bit to find the items for this one since it is such an older collection, but it is there. If it was available on scrapbook.com at any time, it will be there. Once you find an item that you think is on your page, you can click on that item to make it larger so that you can get a better view of that particular page or embellishment. I'm going to click on this particular section here, which is from the Say Cheese 2 collection. So you want to select the Select button, and then you'll need to select the area of your picture that has that particular image on it. You'll get a little check mark that says that it has been added successfully. The 12 by 12 collection kit is something that you'll always want to select if you used a piece of paper from that as well, because this is usually what people are looking at in regards to their layouts. They usually tend to have the full collection kit, and sometimes they'll look at the particular pages, but I always make sure that I select the collection kit as well. Once you've added all of the products that you want to tag to your layout, you'll scroll to the bottom and select Publish. You'll get this image processing page. It takes a few moments for the page to process, but now my project has been published. I hope this section of my Phase 4 has helped you in regards to possibly uploading your layout to the My Project section of scrapbook.com. Alright guys, so that is it for July Dark Side. So what we're going to do now is hit that repeat button and do another round of fun. If you stuck along for this entire video, I really appreciate it. I know that these videos are a little bit longer, but this Dark Side challenge has really opened my eyes to the way that I do scrapbooking, and all of those not so fun things about scrapbooking has really fallen to the wayside. And giving myself this dedicated time to completing this information as well as creating this video for you guys has really just taken my scrapbooking to a completely different level. Hopefully I've also inspired you to start working on your dark side of scrapbooking. If you enjoyed this video, if you wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up, I'd really appreciate it. If you haven't done so already and you want to see more double page layout inspiration, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Thanks everyone for watching, and I hope that you have a scrappy day.